Hey guys, what's going on? We are back again with another video. In today's video, we have the movie review for Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. And it's going to be a good video. It's going to be video one of a three-part video series that I'm doing this week. So today is the movie review. Tomorrow, I'll be doing where I feel this trilogy ranks with the other trilogies, and I'll just kind of do my comparison trilogy to trilogy. And then the next day, it'll either be the next day or something close to that. The following video, the last video, will be what is in the future for Star Wars. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this movie review. And I want to start this movie review by talking about the characters and the way that I felt some of the main characters did in this film. So let's start off with Princess Leia, portrayed by the late great Carrie Fisher. And no disrespect to Carrie Fisher herself, but Princess Leia was not that good in this movie. By the way, spoilers. I haven't spoiled anything yet. There are spoilers in this movie review, so if you don't want spoilers, go see the movie first, then come back. So yeah, Princess Leia was not portrayed very well at all in this film, in my opinion. I felt that her lines were pretty weak, and I understand she passed away during filming, so this, probably had more of a impact on her character than, if she was still alive and did the full movie. I'm sure, there would be better lines and everything, but there were times where her lines just, it seemed like they didn't fit. And I definitely feel like they used some of the things she had said in the previous movies to kind of, finish off her parts in the movie, and it just didn't go very well for her character, I feel. But yeah, no disrespect to Carrie Fisher. Her character is iconic, and just didn't really work out in this film, and of course, most of that is probably from her unfortunate passing. Next character I want to talk about, and this is just going to be very brief. I'm going to say it. Some of you may not agree, but I feel this. Thank God Rose did not get much screen time, and we didn't have to see the Finn-Rose love story. Thank God. That's all I'm going to say on here. Next, we'll go ahead and talk about Poe. And I felt that the actor for Poe, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, did a great job. Definitely, probably his best acting that he's done out of the three movies. He did a phenomenal job portraying Poe, and yeah, I mean, not much else can be said. He just did a great job. Then Finn, portrayed by John Boyega, did very good in this film. I felt that his acting was much improved. I felt he was kind of weak in The Force Awakens, in my opinion. Didn't do terrible, but on the weaker side. I think as he got to understand his character and get that experience from the first two films, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, he did a much better job in this film. Didn't do too bad in the Last Jedi. Is just the whole Finn Rose love story that I didn't like, and that kind of killed it on my part for his character, but he did very good in this film. I felt that, his lines were better. I felt like he had some corny kind of lines in the other films, and just, it wasn't that great, but he did much better in this film. Acting wise, he was able to show really good emotion in emotional scenes, much better than I felt he did in the previous movie. And Finn's character was a lot better in this film, I felt. Definitely got to see more character development for him, which, that's what I love to see, is character development. So, yeah, very good job for Finn. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Rey, portrayed by Daisy Ridley. And my goodness, this is probably the best that Daisy Ridley has done for portraying the character of Rey. She did a great job. And she's someone that I feel is very good at bringing emotion. And I talked about this in my Last Jedi review a couple of years ago that's on this channel still. She did an amazing job during emotional scenes of producing facial expressions and just with the way that she sounds, like very emotional, and you could feel the emotion yourself, and you really felt connected to her character. She does an amazing job of doing that and being able to act on the emotional scenes, and then she just does a good job with everything else in the movie as well, like past the emotional scenes, just you know portraying this kind of two-sided character who kind of struggles multiple times with really trying to figure out who she is and where she, like, her background, and kind of not wanting to know certain parts, that whenever Kylo Ren says certain parts about her past that she knows but she doesn't want to believe, and we see this conflict within her, and Daisy Ridley does a great portrayal of showing, again with the emotion, I guess, of this inner conflict within Rey. So Daisy Ridley, amazing job. Then let's go ahead and talk about Kylo Ren. Again, I apologize, I don't know the actor at this moment. Getting better at that. But yeah, don't know the actor for him. But anyways, Kylo Ren. Wonderful job for me. I felt that not only did he bring the most emotion that he has brought in the emotional scenes compared to the other two films. We got to see a lot of emotion, but again, we got to see the wonderful character development that happened in the previous film that started, and we got to see even more character development. We get to see him look really strong in this film. Like, he probably the strongest that he's looked, and I just think that everything went well. Did a great job. So yeah, I was extremely happy about that. Now I want to go ahead and we'll just jump right into the actual story of this film and just how I felt about the story. So first off, something that I was not a fan of, but I understand it happens, because we had, J.J. Abrams directed the first film in this trilogy with The Force Awakens, and the last film with Rian Johnson directing the middle one. So we kind of got the story kind of swayed different ways as directors changed multiple times, and it didn't bode well for the trilogy itself. But as just a movie by itself, if you take away the trilogy and you look at just this movie, I feel like they could have extended this over 3 films and created the story, because, in all honesty, because of the way that things changed, we don't know. We have no explanation for how the Emperor got to where he was, really. Like, we didn't get anything that explains how he got to Exegol, and, how he was able to build this plan over basically 30 years. Because if you look at the time span, it's 30 years from the 6th movie to where we are now with the 9th movie. So yeah, we don't get the explanation, and that's very unfortunate. You kind of understand, but at the same time, I would have loved to see that explanation. I wish that, if there was a do-over, I wish that they could, expand this movie, have, parts of this movie, and expand it over 3 movies and really get an explanation for the Emperor, because he was just kind of thrown in there. So, but either way, great. It was part of a great story. I felt the story of this was great if you don't compare it to the other 2 movies. If you just look at this as its own film, then we didn't get the explanation about Exegol either, really, unfortunately, which, I could talk about expand this into 3 films all day. I'm going to try and not. But yeah, the Exegol idea, I liked it. It was definitely a twist, because it's not anything I was expecting going into the movie theater. I wasn't expecting this whole, the Emperor and his plans and everything. So looking at it as just its own film, I like it. I liked what they did. I thought they did a wonderful job of, bringing in the Emperor, and, without the explanation, they still did a great job of executing on what the plan that they were going for. I felt that it went very well. And we also get to see the ongoing relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey in with Rey not wanting to know her past and Kylo knowing about her past and kind of slowly giving her bits and pieces as they fight with this mental connection that they have where they can basically talk to each other without being in the same place. So again, that is I enjoy the relationship that they have over the course of the films, and especially in this film, because we get to see more of that inner conflict with Rey and Kylo, because Rey doesn't want to know her past, and Kylo knows her past, and it bodes well, and we get to see the strengthening of the relationship, and then finally Kylo turning to the light side when they're fighting on the remains of the Death Star that was destroyed in the sixth movie. We finally see Rey and Princess Leia convince Kylo to turn to the light side, and it was a pretty cool scene. I enjoyed their fight that they had, and this relationship finally broke down to the point where Kylo turned to the light side instead of, because Kylo would always offer his hand to Rey, but this time they were finally able to break Kylo, and he just joins the light side as Ben Solo. And then I want to talk about the Wayfinder. So I was not a fan of the Wayfinder. I wish that we could have had something, especially with a different name. I mean, Wayfinder, come on. Something to get to Exegol. I wish we had something different, but we just have this thing called the Sith Wayfinder. I get it. You gotta have something, but I felt like there could have been more thought into it, and the concept of the Wayfinder, like where it was, and Rey basically was given specific coordinates of where to go, and just kind of there wasn't too much into it. I mean, you knew that everything along the way kind of went right for them. Like, they didn't really run into any issues when getting to the Wayfinder until Kylo destroyed the Wayfinder. And then she had to find her way there. First off, by getting the Wayfinder from Kylo, because Kylo had the other one. And, Wayfinder could have been a much better concept, in my opinion. It's okay. Then Leia's death. I didn't, it was okay. I felt that there could have been a little bit more. I mean, she uses, in a similar fashion that Luke in the Rise of Skywalker, in the Last Jedi, the way that he used, the rest of his power to be in that battle without actually being there, just using the Force and everything. Leia did the same thing to be able to talk to, or have that mental connection with Kylo to turn him to the light side, and then, she passed away after that. Little thing. I thought that was kind of cool, but at the same time, it was okay when they had Han Solo come back as, kind of as a ghost. I mean, he wasn't a ghost, but having him back, it was kind of cool to see him. Was not expecting it. But I don't know if it really had a real fit. But nonetheless, it was okay. I didn't have any issues with it. And then the battle on Exegol. That was awesome. I think that was one of the best parts of the movie, because not only do we have Rey there with the Emperor, and he's telling her, did I mention that? I'm going to mention that real quick, because I didn't mention something. When Rey finds out that she's a Palpatine, I was thrown, I thought that was really cool, and at the same time, it was not what I was expecting. I thought she was going to be a Skywalker, and, whatever, but I was crazy that, find out that her family passed, she's a Palpatine. Really cool. Anyways, back to, the battle on Exegol. So you have the battle between the Resistance, fighting, the Empire's fleet, and it's a very awesome battle. It looks like they have no hope, that they're about to lose, and Lando Calrissian makes his appearance with a lot of just people that come and help, and it's, thousands upon thousands of battleships that are just ready to go, ready to fight against the I hate calling it Empire, the First Order. That's what it is, the First Order. And it's a really cool battle that goes on. It's awesome to finally get, because Poe had felt that nobody was coming to help them. Nobody wanted to help them, because that's what had happened over the last 3 films, is barely anybody was wanting to help the Resistance. And finally we get to see all these people behind the Resistance going to fight, and it's awesome. Anyways, next part is when Rey and the Emperor have their showdown, and he tells her to strike him down. And at the same time, Kylo Ren is there on Exegol trying to make his way to Rey and the Emperor, and she decides not to strike down the Emperor as he asks, because we knew that wasn't going to happen anyways. At least I felt it wasn't going to happen. I know, maybe some different opinions on that, but I didn't feel like it was going to happen anyways. And she passes the lightsaber over to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren fights his way out of his situation, gets there, and you have the 2 lightsabers. You have Leia's old lightsaber and Luke and Anakin's old lightsaber. And they then go to fight the Emperor. The Emperor shows his strength and basically throws Kylo off of the cliff. Thought he was dead. Didn't feel like he was going to be coming back. And then you have Rey, who's on the ground. After I think she had gotten electrocuted. I can't remember entirely what happened to her. But then Rey gets back up, gets both lightsabers, and she's getting up as all past Jedi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin, Obi-Wan, all these different Jedi that have died are behind Rey, edging her to get up on her feet and fight the Emperor one last time. And the Emperor sees her and says, he's like, well, I am the entire Sith. And she gets up and says, well, I am the entire Jedi. Crosses both lightsabers, and Emperor Palpatine gets burnt up from his own electrocution, dies, and then we see Rey fall and die. And you feel like that's the end. And Finn, up during the Battle of Exegol, he feels that she has died, and then Kylo comes back, climbs up, and sees that she is what it looks like has died, and he basically takes out life from him and puts it into her. She revives. They kiss, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. It's whatever. It happens. But so then after that, Kylo dies. And it's very surprising to me. I was not expecting Kylo to die. And, that was basically that. Then Rey, finds her way back. They have their big old celebration, winning the Battle of Exegol, and the Resistance finally getting their win. And then, just celebrating Rey for what she was able to accomplish. And then you see her go back to Tatooine, and there's a person there that says that she hasn't seen many people in this land, and asks who she is. And she says, Rey. And the lady's like, Rey who? And she looks over and she sees the ghost of Luke and Leia, and says, Rey Skywalker. And I felt that was a very powerful moment in the movie. Very happy with how that went. And I felt like it was a great ending. Then you have, her music that she has being played as she's looking at the sunset of the dual suns of Tatooine, as we saw Luke do in the 4th movie, A New Hope. And I felt it was a great finish to a movie that was very good. And so now that I've told you what I like, what I've disliked, I'll go ahead and give you my rating before I sign off. So I give this movie an 8 out of 10, because there's plenty of plot holes, but looking at it as a single movie and what could be done out of it, I can't give it a 10 out of 10, but I can't give it, too hard of a rating for, you know, the plot holes, because in my opinion it was still a great movie. I enjoyed every minute of watching that movie. So I give it an 8 out of 10. Tell me what you would give it in the comments below. And that's basically going to be it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Wait for the next video, which will be over my comparison from this to the other trilogies, and where I, you know, how I rank the trilogies. And yeah, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, like this video, leave a comment, tell me what your rating is. And if you like this video and want to see future videos like this, some movie reviews, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.